Hey everyone, Ben here, and today we're back on AMS2 where title update 1.3.7.1 has just dropped. And together with the last update, I think it represents quite a decent step forward for AMS2. Here's why. Hear me out on this, but I'm really pleased that these updates aren't focused on new content. Razer Studios have pumped an impressive amount of new cars and tracks into AMS2 since launch, on top of the existing huge range already on offer. But the breadth of content on offer has never really been where the problems lie. The core driving experience and the physics that underpin it have been the source of most people's concerns with the game, at times mine included. But starting with a significant step in version 1.3 at the end of 2021, it really does feel like Razer are getting on top of some of the most significant issues the sim has faced. Cars now behave more similarly to those in other sims, especially through corners. Most notably, the constant mid-corner oversteer and extremely easy to save slides have been far reduced, and now if you are too early on the gas through a corner, you can induce understeer in the cars, something which for me at least was nigh on impossible in previous builds. Using recent patch notes as a guide, this seems to have been achieved by big revisions to the driveline models, tyre models, and various other things like suspension and aero updates too. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not technically gifted enough to offer much analysis of these kinds of things, but the net result is, in my view, definitely an improvement. Of course, it's not perfect. Overall, it still feels to me a little bit less sophisticated than other sims, and the brakes in particular feel somewhat temperamental, but crucially it no longer feels so different from the other mainstream sims on the market, and most of all these improvements give me renewed confidence that Razer is focusing on the things that really matter in a driving sim, that is, the driving experience itself. All of this provides a more intuitive, believable, and crucially fun driving experience to complement the things which AMS2 already did brilliantly. In particular, that sense of immersion provided by great graphics and rock-solid frame rates. Slowly but surely, other core elements of AMS2 are also seeing improvements. The AI can still be hit and miss, but they are definitely becoming more interesting to race. They will fight one another and you for position, no longer get caught in quite so many trains as they used to, and will even make mistakes under pressure. I've even heard from mates that they deploy varying pit strategies in longer races too. There are some illusion-shattering behaviours that remain, for example, Formula cars getting out on the grass at full speed when racing side by side, or racing nose to tail in a way that touring cars might be able to get away with, but single-seaters are much less likely to. And they're clearly not running on the same physics engine as the player, which can mean they have advantages into braking zones and out of corners. But I use AMS2 primarily as my more casual sim, and no, that really is not meant as a criticism. I love to hop into cool combinations you might not find in other titles and just enjoy the experience. The quality of the AI used to mean I'd spend most of my time running solo, but thanks to recent updates, that's no longer the case. The new physics updates and improvements to the AI also make a great excuse to dive back into some of the older content in-game, which has now been updated too, and there's some great driving experiences to be had. The GT1 cars remain a favourite, as do the GTE and DPI classes, but some of the older Formula cars are super fun as well. Picking out a 70s F1 car at a historic circuit and having the game recreate the weather conditions from a specific race day, all at the few clicks of a mouse button, will never not be fun to me. In the most recent update, the Brazilian Junior prototypes, sprint race cars and F3 have all seen updates too, and I'm looking forward to giving each a proper drive over the coming weeks. But in the meantime, in this next video you can find out what my favourite thing to do in AMS2 is right now.